Welcome to Duo Reads, where we decode deep ideas and break down big books, one page at a time. Today, we're taking a deep dive into Hal Elrod's transformative bestseller, The Miracle Morning. Now, if you haven't encountered it before, it presents some really compelling ideas about unlocking your full potential, crafting what he calls a level 10 life. And it's all through these remarkably simple morning rituals. It's a concept that's clearly resonated, over 2 million readers worldwide. Definitely makes you wonder, what if just a few tweaks to your morning could genuinely transform your whole day, maybe even your life?
Yeah, and what's truly compelling, I think, is that Hal Elrod didn't just, dream this system up out of nowhere. He actually forged it from sheer desperation, which gives it a lot of weight. Before this book, he was a successful motivational speaker, but then his own life took these two incredibly harsh turns. First, he survived a near-fatal car accident when he was just 20. Really life-altering injuries. And then later, in 2008, he faced a severe financial crisis. It plunged him into this deep, dark depression. So it was really these personal rock bottoms, this desperate search for solutions that actually pushed him to explore and then create this system of morning rituals. It just adds such a profound kind of human element to the whole thing.
Definitely. So right at the start, Elrod hits us with a pretty provocative statement. He says, life's too short to be both unhappy and mediocre. It really makes you pause, doesn't it? He challenges us to think, are we really going after our dreams, or have we, like maybe so many people, just sort of settled? I do wonder, though, do people actually realize they're settling? Or is it more of this, unconscious thing that just creeps up? He insists that your past is not your potential, which suggests every moment is a chance for a fresh start.
Mm-hmm. And building right on that, Elrod drives home how critical this shift in mindset is with his 95% reality check. You find that in chapter 3. It's pretty sobering, actually. He shares these statistics, like out of 100 people starting their careers, by the time they retire, only 1 will be wealthy, 4 financially secure, 5 still working because they have to, 36 deceased. And a huge 54 basically broke.
Wow, yeah. And these numbers, they're not just about money, right? They speak to this profound societal complacency, maybe. It's a stark wake-up call that most people, even with good intentions, kind of unconsciously drift towards a life of regret. And Elrod's insight is that this isn't necessarily a lack of desire, but often is a lack of a concrete daily system to, counteract that drift. This ties right into that Cornell University study he mentions, where 76% of people on their deathbeds regretted not fulfilling my ideal self. So it's not just financial stuff, it's that deeper sense of unlived potential.
That really puts Hal Elrod's own story, which he details in Chapter 2, into even sharper focus. From desperation to discovery, like you said, you mentioned his 2 rock bottoms, that horrific car accident where doctors told him he might never walk again, and then the 2008 recession, which just decimated his coaching business. Plunged him into a depression he said was actually worse than the physical pain from the accident. He even talks about battling suicidal thoughts. It was really, really dark. But then during this desperate run, after a friend pushed him to get out there, he heard this motivational quote. Your level of success will seldom exceed your level of personal development because success is something you attract by the person you become. And that just clicked. It wasn't just a rough patch. It was the catalyst for drastic change. Now, his story is incredibly inspiring, no doubt. But some might argue, couldn't they, that maybe such extreme crises create a unique kind of motivation? Do you think his strategies are just as accessible, just as effective for someone who hasn't faced those kinds of huge challenges?
That's a really fair question. His journey definitely gave him a unique kind of urgency. You can't deny that. But I think the beauty of his system is that he himself admits he was a total night owl. He genuinely hated waking up early. Yet he challenged that really deeply ingrained mindset. He committed to a 5 a.m. start, not because he suddenly loved mornings, but because he saw it as the path to the personal development he desperately needed. So I think that shows that anyone, really, regardless of their past habits or whether they think they're a morning person, can adapt. They can build a productive, positive morning routine. It feels like it's less about how bad your past was and more about your present choice and commitment.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it's interesting how Elrod really dives into that universal struggle with the snooze button, isn't it? He even quotes the comedian Demetri Martin in Chapter 5, who just perfectly nails the absurdity of it all. Martin says, if you really think about it, hitting the snooze button doesn't even make sense. It's like saying, I hate getting up in the morning, so I do it over and over and over again. It really makes you think, right, how much of our own potential are we just kind of snoozing away? Elrod explains in Chapter 4 how hitting snooze repeatedly actually fragments your sleep. It makes you groggier. And it reinforces this negative mindset. You're basically telling your subconscious you lack the discipline to just get up and face the day. It's this vicious cycle, and we often don't even realize we're stuck in it.
Oh, absolutely. It totally sabotages our mornings before they even properly start. So to fight this, Hal Elrod came up with this really practical 5-step snooze-proof wake-up strategy. It's in Chapter 5. And each step is specifically designed to break that negative pattern. First, set an empowering intention before bed. The idea is your last thought before sleep influences your first thought when you wake up. So try to make it positive, purposeful, something you're actually looking forward to when you wake up.
Okay, that makes sense.
Second, move your alarm clock across the room. Super simple, but effective. It forces you to physically get out of bed to turn it off. Breaks that cycle of just rolling over and hitting snooze again.
It's vertical.
Exactly. Third, brush your teeth. It sounds almost too simple, but it's a mindless activity that gets you moving, helps you become more alert. It's like a small, easy win right at the start. Fourth, drink a full glass of water. After sleeping for hours, your body's naturally dehydrated, and that really contributes to morning fatigue. So rehydrating immediately helps fight that grogginess, gets your metabolism going. He even suggests adding a pinch of Himalayan salt and lemon.
Oh, interesting tip.
Yeah. And fifth, get dressed in your workout clothes. This is more of a mental cue. It prepares you mentally for an active morning routine, signals to your brain, okay, we're ready to be productive. It removes that decision fatigue first thing.
Those steps sound like a really powerful way to sort of reclaim your mornings. So once you're actually up and alert, that's where the real core of the Miracle Morning comes in. The Life SAVERS. These are outlined in Chapter 6. 6 habits that Hal Elrod claims, if you practice them consistently, can genuinely transform your life.
And each SAVER isn't just a random suggestion. It has a clear psychological purpose and benefit behind it. So S is for silence. This isn't just about being quiet. It's about creating mental space, which is so rare now. In our, hyper-connected, noisy world, this deliberate pause, maybe meditation, prayer, just deep breathing, helps quiet that monkey mind. It actually improves prefrontal cortex activity, which helps with focus, emotional regulation. It's like resetting your brain for the day.
A reset button? I like that.
Yeah. Then A is for affirmations. These are designed to reshape your internal dialogue, your core beliefs. By consciously stating who you're becoming, what you're committed to, you're actively programming your subconscious mind. Drives motivation, drives behavioral change.
Okay.
V is for visualization. Now, this is more than just daydreaming. It's like a mental rehearsal of your goals. By vividly imagining achieving them, and the steps needed, you build these mental pathways, maintain focus, prime your brain for success. Really helpful when you're feeling doubtful or negative.
Mental rehearsal. Got it.
Yeah. E is for exercise. Even just a short burst of movement in the morning boosts mental clarity, energy, sets a proactive, positive tone for the whole day. Gets the blood flowing, releases endorphins, fights sluggishness right away.
Yeah, even a few jumping jacks probably helps.
Totally. R is for reading. This is about shortening your learning curve. By gaining knowledge, perspectives, strategies from others, maybe just a few pages of a self-help book or a biography, you're basically tapping into the wisdom of experts, accelerating your own growth.
Makes sense.
And finally, S is for scribing. This is journaling, which is such a powerful tool for clarifying your thoughts, reflecting on progress, fostering gratitude. It can be like a form of self-therapy, really, letting you process emotions, track habits, gain perspective.
That sounds incredibly comprehensive. It really covers a lot of ground. But I know what many people listening are probably thinking right now. An hour. Every morning. I just don't have that kind of time. And Hal Elrod totally gets that. He addresses it head on by introducing the 6-minute miracle morning in Chapter 7. He explains that even dedicating just 1 minute to each SAVER can still provide significant benefits. And crucially, it helps you build that consistency. It's about progress, not perfection, right? Proving to yourself you can commit, even just for 6 minutes.
That's exactly right. It lowers the barrier to entry so much. And Chapter 8 really emphasizes the importance of customizing your miracle morning. It's not meant to be this rigid, one-size-fits-all program. You can tailor it to your own needs, your goals. Doesn't matter if you're an early bird or, like Elrod was, a self-proclaimed night owl. You can adapt it to any time of day. Maybe you're a shift worker or integrate it into weekends to keep that positive momentum going. The key is finding what works for you and making it sustainable. He also throws in some practical nutrition tips, like maybe eating after your SAVERS for better focus, or choosing light, nutrient-rich meals if you do need to eat first, all designed to boost your energy.
Okay, so customization is key. But let's talk about making it stick. If we commit to these morning habits, how do we make them last? It's one thing to start strong, but another to keep it going long term. Elrod introduces his 3-phase, 30-day strategy to establish any habit. That's in Chapter 9. And it feels pretty relatable if you've ever tried to build a new routine. He breaks it down. Phase 1, unbearable. That's days 1 to 10. This is where it feels really tough. You feel the discomfort, the resistance. You might want to quit. It's new, maybe frustrating.
Well, the novelty wears off fast.
Right. Then phase 2, uncomfortable, days 11 to 20. You start to adapt here. It gets a little easier, but you still need that conscious effort, that commitment to avoid slipping back into old ways. You start building some confidence, some momentum.
Yeah, you're over the initial hump, but it's not automatic yet.
Exactly. Then phase 3, unstoppable, days 21 to 30. By this point, the new habit starts feeling like part of your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who does this thing. But Elrod stresses this phase still needs positive reinforcement to make it truly sustainable. He warns against that common mistake of stopping after 21 days, thinking the habit's locked in.
That 30-day timeline is absolutely critical. He says motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. And so many people do make that mistake, right? They abandon habits too soon, often around that 21-day mark, thinking, okay, I've done it. But the full 30 days, he argues, are crucial for real integration, making it a deep-seated part of who you actually are. He uses his own experience as a really powerful example here, overcoming his own massive self-doubt, his physical limitations to train for a 52-mile ultramarathon. He achieved that by applying these very practices day in, day out. It shows how these tools aren't just for tweaking your morning mood, they can help break really profound mental and physical barriers.
Wow, an ultra marathon. That's intense. And it's not just about the morning routine itself. Elrod brings in the concept of the miracle evening in Chapter 11. He sees it as the crucial complement to the morning. He even has a framework for it, SLUMBERS, which includes things like stop eating a few hours before bed, let go of stressful thoughts, boycott blue light from screens, map out the next day, read a good book, and sleep like a baby.
How does this evening routine really set up the morning and ultimately what he calls the miracle life?
Well, a structured evening routine has a direct impact on your morning quality, primarily by significantly improving your sleep and also reducing mental clutter before you even hit the pillow. Like that boycotting blue light one, it's not just about less screen time, it's about signaling to your brain, hey, it's time to wind down. That protects your melatonin production, leading to deeper, more restorative sleep, which obviously fuels your morning energy and focus.
Right, sleep is foundational. Totally. And then he expands this whole idea into the miracle life in Chapter 12. This is what he calls your ultimate path to inner freedom. And this is really about consciously choosing your mental and emotional state, regardless of what's happening externally. He introduces the 5-minute rule here. Allow yourself exactly 5 minutes to be upset, angry, frustrated when something bad happens. Then consciously accept the reality, tell yourself can't change it, and actively choose to move on.
Only 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That takes discipline.
It does. And that practice, combined with a really profound focus on gratitude, he says, is key to cultivating that inner freedom. He even brings up Viktor Frankl's incredible experiences in concentration camps as this powerful testament to the idea that you can choose your attitude, your perspective, even in the absolute direst of situations. Now, this does raise an important question, though. While the miracle morning is presented as transformative, and clearly it is for many, critics might ask, is a morning routine alone really enough? Is it sufficient for tackling all of life's complex challenges, especially deeper issues maybe impacting mental health or, systemic problems? It's probably important to view it within a, let's say, broader context.
That's a really vital point to raise. So while it's clearly incredibly powerful and maybe a fantastic starting point for personal growth, we should probably caution listeners that this is a tool, right? A powerful one, but it sits within a larger toolkit.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a magic bullet, a panacea for everything from systemic inequalities to clinical depression, would you say? It's about creating a strong foundation, maybe. But other support systems or strategies might be needed for those bigger, more complex challenges.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. It's a foundational practice. It empowers individual agency, your own development. It can give you the energy, the clarity, the mindset to approach those bigger challenges and to build the resilience you need. But yeah, it's definitely part of a larger, more holistic approach to well-being and problem solving, not the sole solution itself.
Absolutely. Okay, so to kind of wrap things up, what we've really explored here from Hal Elrod's The Miracle Morning is this idea that success isn't just about doing more stuff, it's profoundly about becoming more. Small, consistent daily actions, especially those taken first thing in the morning, can genuinely lead to extraordinary life transformation over time. The power really lies in that quote he found. Success is something you attract by the person you become.
So we'd encourage you listening to Maybe consider which of the SAVERS, silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, or scribing, or maybe one of those snooze-proof wake-up strategies. Which one resonates most with you right now? Even just trying a few minutes of intentional action could start to shift your whole day, your whole perception.
And maybe here's a final thought for you to mull over. If choosing how you feel, regardless of your circumstances, truly represents the ultimate freedom, how might intentionally starting and ending your day with purpose shift your entire perception of control and possibility, even or maybe especially when life throws its toughest challenges your way? Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the Miracle Morning. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep becoming the best version of yourself.